Go ahead. We had him there for a second. Jeremy, are you with us?
Yes.
Jeremy had.
Yes, my question is about Social Security. I just received my Social Security statement. Yes, well?
Jeremy's talking about the fact that he didn't get an increase. So this is the second year in a row, I believe, that Social Security has not increased. Mr. Runyon, you want to take Social Security first?
At the root, Social Security is a promise we've made to every American. It's a promise we have to uphold. We've been talking about budgets. We've been talking about jobs. People are out of work. They're not paying back into the system. We have to move in that direction. We have to stop spending money we don't have. So we're not taking the revenue that we will get when jobs come back and spending on other things. We have made promises. We have to fund them, and we have to fulfill them. Because it's quite frankly wrong again to make a promise to someone and change the rules in the middle of the game.
Stradler?
I don't know any senior citizen, again, thank you. I don't know any senior citizen in this room or in this country who hasn't seen his or her cost of living rise in the last 2 years. For the Social Security Administration to not understand that and to acknowledge it with a cost of living allowance is remarkably insensitive. It's cruel. The idea of Social Security, I know it personally because my mother and I lived on it after my father died. I know how significant it is for people. They count on that for the retirement purposes. If they're disabled, they count on it as their only income in many cases. And so for the Social Security Administration not to help, I think was a disappointment that has really hurt people. I did something about it as a member of Congress. The stimulus bill was a large bill with a lot of money spent. A lot of that money went right back to people. I was one of the people, I was the person in the House, it also came through the Senate the same way, but the person in the House that put in a small amount of money for every senior citizen. It was only $250. That's not the same as a real cost of living adjustment. That would have been a better thing. But it was a little bit of money back in the seniors' pockets so they wouldn't fall farther behind. The idea of Social Security was to prevent seniors from slipping into poverty. In just a couple weeks, when Congress reconvenes, there's going to be a vote to close a couple tax loopholes and use that money to give another Social Security check. It's not going to be, again, a cost of living adjustment, so you're going to still be not quite where you want to be. But again, recognizing seniors are struggling desperately, and goodness knows in New Jersey they're struggling desperately, it's another check to try to help people get through in tough times until we can become more solvent as a country.
Do you believe in the movement to a 401k style Social Security system?
I think that's a terrible risk to seniors. I think we count on a certain amount of money coming out to seniors, and to have it risked in a stock market, any sort of speculative investments. We saw how wildly the markets fluctuated after Lehman Brothers collapsed in September 2008. At one point, the Dow Jones was down to like 5,000 in early March of 2009. It's since climbed back up as I think markets have gotten more confident. But to drop from 11 or 12,000 down to 5,000, if I'm a senior and I'm counting my income and the assets get cut in half, that means my income gets cut in half and people could not live. I would not tolerate that. I would not trust that. And I'm troubled. I know Mr. Runyon's against privatization, but groups that are funding his campaign, that are paying money on TV with campaign commercials against me, support privatization as a principal goal. I wonder why he hasn't repudiated those groups by now.